Time for another draftphysics.com, debatephysics.com, also video presentation. Some progress in different areas. So the simulation is back to being round, working better, but there's still some unevenness in the activity, but generally speaking, it's working, and it should work better soon. Anyway, so that's good news. And I should be able to get a simulation of the drag. That's pretty simple. Just count how many things are on each side, and you'll be able to see that something that should stop because it's moving into more force doesn't stop. And it's only logical that you can't change. If the crash has the same value, that is, you hit something at the same speed, which is going to be the speed of light, it doesn't matter whether you're moving, because the things that are pushing are the speed of light. So from their perspective, it's just two things going the same speed, and I can't make it a different speed here than it is here. I can't make something have more than the speed of light as a speed. The pushers, the Sisyphuses, are really who's pushing against each other, and they're going to just release their energy. So I can't create more energy by moving into a force. It doesn't happen. And it's a huge argument in terms of, this was a critical argument in Feynman's critique of Lesage gravity, where he didn't even call it Lesage gravity, which is, I think, a little bit bullshit. But anyway, and apparently it is something that other people think of. I thought of it independently, and Feynman was sort of implying that one of his students runs into the office with this great theory and thinks they got it, eureka. So I think there's other people who also drew the same conclusion, that this is just a shadowing, that you're absorbing the energy. The Earth is absorbing the energy, and so there's less energy coming out of the Earth, and there's more energy hitting me from above, and that's the gravitational differential I'm stuck in. And it makes perfect sense in the sense that the Earth is hot. So, yeah, duh. It's hot inside, okay, and it can't stay hot inside because it's a radiator. It's all conductive. There's no insulating layers. So it has to, through conduction and convection, lose all of its heat. So it has to be constantly refueled. Constantly refueled. All right, anyway. So I have done, instead of these kind of videos, I've been doing a couple live videos. And I found that maybe it's a good way to do response videos to other people's videos, because then if there's nobody in the room, it's okay. Nobody has anything to say, I'm still making a video. And if people do have something to say, well, that might be useful. Now and then. Ooh, it almost made hydrogen 2. Ooh, it's trying to make hydrogen 2. Understand that that's what hydrogen really looks like right there. That's hydrogen. Okay, they say the word hydrogen, and people think, oh, just an electron and a proton. No, hydrogen 2 is what hydrogen collapses into. It doesn't like to be hydrogen 1. Okay, it doesn't work as hydrogen 1. It's so much more stable as hydrogen 2. And I never knew that. They don't tell you that crap. They don't really, two molecules is completely different than one molecule. They have to match each other and fit in some kind of geometry. And it's just so obvious that two hydrogens would just switch their electrons and protons like magnets. They would just go boop and combine into a very stable, very solid configuration. So the other part here is that I think I have Lyme disease again. And yeah, I have some weak penicillin, and I ended up having I was complaining, sort of. I wasn't complaining, but the first day I felt just as bad as you could feel, and but I didn't have any fever. So usually you have some fever, and I've had it so many times that I usually don't get a fever that's anything severe. But I guess my penicillin wasn't quite good enough, and it just it just scared them a little, and then they came back with a vengeance, and I ended up with 102 temperature, and I was pretty feeble. So anyway, just whatever. So I seem okay now. We'll see if I stay okay and such. But it hasn't been. It's just been so bizarrely up and down the last couple of days. Just just yeah, it's just not. I haven't eaten anything for 2 days. Anyway, so what else? So yeah, the live videos, the simulation, the drag simulation coming soon, and what else? Well, I'll think about it. I don't know if there's anything else. So I will pause. I mean, there were a lot of, frankly, I mean, you have to go to the live section to see the live videos, which is sort of annoying. I mean, they're 2-hour videos. They should be in the video section. So that's kind of annoying that if people don't know to go to live, they're not going to see them. There was a lot of good arguments. Now, I made some bad arguments in the sense I argued about a mathematical formula, but I will go through that and just prove my point. Okay, that my formula is correct and Newton's just isn't, because it doesn't make any sense. And it probably doesn't matter because you don't use the total force is irrelevant. Knowing the total force between the moon and the earth doesn't mean anything. You need to know how much the moon moves and how much the earth moves. And so that's the part that's only important. And it doesn't matter. The masses disappear because once you know what the rate of the gravity from the earth is, you can just annihilate the mass of the moon. It doesn't matter what the mass of the moon is. An atom moves the same speed as the moon. If I put the two of them out there, they move the same speed. So we know that the force is just their motion, the momentum they have. All right. Force is momentum. I have to keep just letting you know. Anyway, oh, look at that. See, a deuteron. This is called a deuteron. This three thing. At least that's what I've seen physicists call it. So they know of this concept, which is kind of funny, right? Because this is the strong force kind of concept. It's basically telling you that you can get 2 electrons or 2 protons really close together by just sticking the opposite thing in there. Ooh, maybe they'll all light up here. I have to fix the wall thing. The wall thing is a problem, blah, blah, blah. So there are glitches still, like I said. But it is showing there is just this chaos, a little bit of chaos, and that's why they don't just crash into each other. It's because they're jiggling a little too much. They're doing this and this, and so they can't really stick to each other until they get inside a nucleus, and everything gets very regular. The forces get very regular, very consistent. Let's put it that way, and such. So, let me pause and think if there's anything else that has to add to this video. So it's really just a heads up. I am still making videos. It's just half of them might be live. More than half of them might be. I don't know. I mean, they're not. It used to be that the live videos were kind of a cruddier quality, and frankly, the quality looked pretty good to me. So I was like, well, what the hell? I might as well make videos this way. But the downside is they don't show up in my videos. So so that's kind of suck. But anyway, look at that. Perfect. North, south, north, south, north, south. See, electrons and protons are the magnetic monopoles. Duh. Okay. Pause. Alright, I guess there's nothing else except to say thank you to the person who does this for me, and blah blah blah. And so many people have disappointed me over the years, and these guys have been just so generous, and I'm very grateful and such. Anyway, look at that. I mean, how can people deny this is working? Where do you see any other model on the face of the earth make this happen? Hmm? Yeah, no, you don't. Okay. So, it's the answer. There's not a bunch of swirling crap. There's not a medium crap. None of that's going to do this. Ugh. So anyway. Alright. So, till the next time and such. I think that's... I'm kind of feeble, so, yeah. I have this sense, you fucked up. You missed what you were supposed to say. There was some kind of news. And, no. Yeah, I don't have it. So you should check out like I said, the one live video. I was a bit of an asshole. So, well, I'm always, there's always 5% of a video where I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. But 95% of the video, I'm not an asshole. All right, anyway, so till the next time and such and so forth and what